In a world overflowing with noise, opinions shouted from every screen, emotional outbursts disguised as authenticity, and endless debates that lead nowhere, an intelligent man chooses silence over spectacle. He does not speak to impress, to dominate, or to vent. He speaks with purpose, clarity, and restraint, and more importantly, he knows what not to say. This is not about political correctness. It's not about suppressing your voice or pretending to be someone you're not. This is about wisdom. This is about self-mastery. This is about the timeless principles of Stoic philosophy. Principles that guided Roman emperors like Marcus Aurelius, statesmen like Seneca, and former slaves like Epictetus. These men understood that true intelligence is not measured by how much you know, but by how well you govern your thoughts, emotions, and words. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control external events, other people's actions, the weather, the economy, or even our own reputations. But we can control our judgments, our responses, and our speech. The intelligent man, shaped by Stoic discipline, recognizes that words are not just sounds, they are actions. They shape reality, they reveal character, and they carry consequences. In this video, we will explore 7 things an intelligent man never says, not because he's afraid of speaking his mind, but because he understands the deeper truth behind each phrase. These are not arbitrary rules. They are reflections of a disciplined mind, a tranquil soul, and a life lived with intention. He has trained himself to pause, reflect, and respond with virtue rather than react with impulse. As we go through each of these 7 things, ask yourself, have I said these words? Have I believed them? Have they served me, or have they held me back? This is not a judgment. It's an invitation to think more deeply, to speak more wisely, and to live more fully. So let us begin. 1. It's not fair. The intelligent man never says, it's not fair. At first glance, this may seem counterintuitive. After all, fairness is a noble ideal. Justice is a cornerstone of civilization. But the phrase, it's not fair, is rarely a call for justice. It is almost always a cry of emotional protest against reality. Let us be clear, life is not fair. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Epictetus, born a slave, began his teachings with a simple but profound distinction. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Among the things not within our control are the actions of others, the distribution of fortune, and the circumstances of our birth. To complain that life is unfair is to demand that the universe conform to your expectations, an expectation that will always lead to disappointment. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. And so none of them can hurt me." Notice he does not say, it's not fair that people are like this. He accepts human nature as it is. He prepares himself for it, and in doing so, he preserves his inner peace. The intelligent man knows that fairness is a human construct, not a law of nature. Nature does not care about your sense of justice. A storm does not ask whether it is fair to destroy a village. A disease does not consider whether its victim deserves to suffer. The universe operates according to cause and effect, not moral balance. When a man says, it's not fair, he is revealing a deeper belief that he is owed something by life, that the world should bend to his desires. That suffering is a mistake rather than a universal condition. But the Stoics teach that suffering is not the problem. Our judgment about suffering is. As Epictetus said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. If you believe that life should be fair, then every injustice will wound you. But if you accept that life is as it is, and that your task is not to change reality, but to respond to it with virtue, then you become unshakable. Consider this: when you say, it's not fair, what are you really asking for? Are you asking for special treatment? For an exception to the rules that govern everyone else? for the universe to correct itself on your behalf. The intelligent man does not waste energy on such illusions. Instead, he asks, what is within my power? How can I respond with courage, justice, temperance, and wisdom? Let's look at a practical example. Imagine you are passed over for a promotion at work. A less qualified colleague gets the job. Your first impulse might be to say, it's not fair. And in a sense, you may be right. The decision may have been influenced by favoritism, bias, or incompetence. But what does that phrase accomplish? Does it change the outcome? Does it restore your dignity? Or does it trap you in resentment, bitterness, and helplessness? The intelligent man reframes the situation. He asks, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? Is this a sign that I should seek a better environment? He does not deny the injustice, but he refuses to let it define his inner state. Seneca wrote, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. The intelligent man sees adversity not as an unfair punishment, but as an opportunity for growth. He knows that the path to excellence is paved with resistance, and that every obstacle is a chance to practice virtue. Moreover, the phrase, it's not fair, often masks a deeper fear, the fear of being powerless. But Stoicism teaches that true power lies not in controlling outcomes, but in mastering oneself. You cannot control whether you get the promotion, but you can control your effort, your attitude, and your integrity. You cannot control whether others treat you justly, but you can control whether you act justly, and in the end, that is all that matters. The intelligent man does not seek fairness from the world, he seeks virtue within himself. And in doing so, he becomes the kind of man who does not need the world to be fair, because his worth is not determined by external validation. So the next time you feel the urge to say, it's not fair, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, is this complaint serving me? Is it leading me toward wisdom or away from it? If the answer is no, then let it go. Accept what is and focus on what you can do right here, right now, with excellence and integrity. That is the mark of an intelligent man. 2. I can't handle this. The intelligent man never says, I can't handle this. This phrase is a surrender, not to reality, but to fear. It is a declaration of helplessness, a self-fulfilling prophecy that weakens the mind and paralyzes action. Stoicism does not deny the existence of hardship. On the contrary, it embraces it. The Stoics believed that life is a training ground and that every challenge is an invitation to develop strength, resilience, and character. When a man says, I can't handle this, he is not describing an objective truth. He is expressing a subjective judgment, one that can be changed. Epictetus taught, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. The intelligent man knows that he is stronger than he thinks. He has survived every bad day so far. He has endured pain, loss, failure, and uncertainty, and he is still here. That is proof enough of his capacity. But more than that, he understands a fundamental Stoic principle. We are not given more than we can bear. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The intelligent man does not measure his ability by the size of the obstacle. He measures it by the strength of his will. But the intelligent man does not confuse feeling with fact. Feeling overwhelmed does not mean you are overwhelmed. It means you are human. And being human means you have the capacity to rise. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They imagined the worst-case scenarios not to induce fear, but to build resilience. By mentally rehearsing hardship, they prepared themselves to face it with calm and clarity. Seneca advised, the man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. So when the intelligent man faces a crisis, he does not say, I can't handle this. He says, this is difficult, but I have faced difficulty before. I will endure, I will learn, I will grow. He breaks the problem down. He focuses on what is within his control. He takes one step at a time. Consider a man who loses his job. The emotional response might be panic. I can't handle this. How will I pay the bills? What will people think? But the intelligent man pauses. He acknowledges the fear without letting it dictate his actions. He asks, what can I do today? Can I update my resume? Reach out to a contact? Cut unnecessary expenses. He does not solve the entire problem at once. He solves the next small piece, and in doing so, he proves to himself that he can handle it because he is handling it. Moreover, the phrase, "I can't handle this," is often rooted in perfectionism. It implies that unless you can handle something flawlessly, you are failing. But Stoicism rejects perfectionism. It values progress over perfection. The intelligent man does not expect himself to be unshakable. He expects himself to return to his center after being shaken. That is the essence of resilience. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So when you feel like saying, "I can't handle this," reframe it. Say instead, "This is hard, but I am capable. I will find a way." And if you must speak, speak with honesty, but not defeat. But say, "I'm struggling, but I'm not broken." That is not weakness, that is courage. The intelligent man knows that true strength is not the absence of fear, it is action in the presence of fear. He also understands that asking for help is not a sign of inability. Stoicism is not about stoicism in the modern sense, emotional suppression. It is about rational self-governance. And part of that is recognizing when you need support. But even then, he does not say, "I can't handle this." He says, "I need help, and I will use it to grow stronger." The intelligent man trusts in his capacity because he trusts in the nature of the human spirit. He knows that adversity does not break us, it reveals us, and in every trial he finds an opportunity to prove to himself and to the world that he is more than his circumstances. So the next time you face a challenge that seems insurmountable, remember, you have handled everything life has thrown at you so far, and you will handle this too. Not because it's easy, but because you are stronger than you think. That is the mindset of an intelligent man. 3. It's all your fault. The intelligent man never says, "It's all your fault." Blame is the refuge of the undisciplined mind. It is a way of outsourcing responsibility, of pretending that if only others had acted differently, your life would be better. But Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes not from changing others, but from mastering yourself. When you say, "It's all your fault," you are making two dangerous assumptions. First, that other people are fully in control of their actions, which contradicts the Stoic view that even others are subject to ignorance, passion, and external forces. Second, that you are powerless to respond wisely to their actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When another blames you or hates you or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you." He did not say, "They're wrong to blame me." He said, "Their opinion is theirs. My duty is to act rightly." The intelligent man knows that blaming others is a form of self-deception. It creates the illusion of innocence, but at the cost of growth. If everything is someone else's fault, then you have no power to change your situation. You become a victim of circumstance, forever at the mercy of other people's choices. But Stoicism teaches that no one can harm you unless you allow it. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When someone hurts you through betrayal, negligence, or cruelty, the intelligent man does not deny the pain, but he refuses to let that pain become a prison. He asks, "How will I respond? Will I let this define me, or will I rise above it?" Blame keeps you stuck in the past. Responsibility moves you forward. Consider a relationship that ends in heartbreak. It is tempting to say, "It's all your fault, you ruined everything." But what does that accomplish? It may feel cathartic in the moment, but it does not heal. It does not bring closure. It only deepens the wound. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Blame is often fueled by imagination, by stories we tell ourselves about how things should have been. But the intelligent man lives in reality, not in fantasy. Moreover, blaming others violates the Stoic principle of sympathy for human frailty. The Stoics believed that people do wrong out of ignorance, not malice. As Socrates said, "No one does wrong willingly." And Marcus Aurelius echoed this. When people injure you, ask yourself what good or bad they thought would come of it. If you understand that, you'll feel sympathy rather than outrage. The intelligent man does not excuse harmful behavior, but he seeks to understand it. and in understanding he finds peace. He also recognizes that holding on to blame is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Resentment corrodes the soul. It steals your joy, clouds your judgment, and distracts you from what truly matters. The Stoics practiced amor fati, the love of fate. Not because everything that happens is good, but because everything that happens can be used for good, even betrayal, even loss, even injustice. The intelligent man transforms pain into purpose. He does not waste energy on blame. He invests it in growth. So when you feel the urge to say, "It's all your fault," pause. Ask yourself, is this entirely true? Is this helping me move forward? What is within my control in this situation? Then shift your focus from accusation to action. You cannot control what others do, but you can control how you respond. And in doing so, he becomes free. 4. I regret. The intelligent man never says, "I regret," at least, not in the way most people mean it. Regret, as commonly understood, is a backward-looking emotion that fixates on past mistakes with sorrow and self-reproach. It says, "If only I had done things differently, my life would be better now." But Stoicism teaches that the past is unchangeable and that dwelling on it is a waste of the present. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." The intelligent man does not deny that he has made mistakes. He has failed, stumbled, and chosen poorly at times, but he does not let those moments define him. Instead, he treats them as lessons. Seneca said, "Every new day is a new life." Each morning is an opportunity to begin again, to apply what you've learned and live with greater wisdom. The key distinction is this: regret says, "I wish I hadn't done that." Reflection says, "Because I did that, I now know better." The intelligent man practices reflection, not regret. He understands that every choice, good or bad, was made with the knowledge and character he had at the time. To condemn his past self is to ignore the reality of growth. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. And that is a good thing, Epictetus taught. It is not events that disturb people, but their judgments about those events. Regret is not caused by the past action itself, but by the judgment that it was wrong in a way that cannot be redeemed. But the Stoics believed that everything can be used for good, if you have the right perspective. Consider a man who made a poor financial decision and lost money. He could say, "I regret investing in that business." But that statement traps him in shame. The intelligent man says, "I learned the importance of due diligence. I now understand risk better. That loss was the tuition I paid for wisdom." He does not erase the mistake. He transforms it. Moreover, regret often stems from comparing your path to an imagined alternative. "If only I had taken that job, married that person, moved to that city." But this is pure fantasy. You cannot know what that alternate life would have been like. Nodded. No, you would. It's been all. The Stoics practiced amor fati, the love of one's fate. Nietzsche, influenced by Stoicism, wrote, "My formula for greatness is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." The intelligent man does not wish for a different past. He accepts it fully and uses it as fuel for a better future. He also recognizes that regret is often a disguised form of pride. It says, "I should have known better. I should have been perfect." But Stoicism embraces human imperfection. It values progress, not purity. So instead of saying, "I regret," the intelligent man says, "I learned, I grew, I now choose differently." And in doing so, he turns pain into power. Of course, there are moments of deep sorrow, loss, betrayal, irreversible harm. The intelligent man does not suppress these emotions. He feels them fully. But he does not let them become permanent residents in his mind. He grieves, and then he moves forward, because the present moment is all we ever have, and in this moment he can choose virtue. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I regret," pause, reframe it. Ask, what did this teach me? How can I use this experience to live more wisely today? That is how an intelligent man relates to the past, not with regret, but with reverence. 5. I'm a victim. The intelligent man never says, "I'm a victim." This is not a denial of suffering. People endure real pain, abuse, discrimination, trauma, injustice. The Stoics did not minimize these experiences. Epictetus was a slave, Seneca was exiled, Marcus Aurelius buried many of his children. But they never identified as victims. Why? Because victimhood is a mindset and it is incompatible with agency. To say, I'm a victim, is to surrender your power. It is to say, what happened to me defines me. I am broken. I cannot move forward. And while this may feel true in the moment, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Stoicism teaches that no external event can take away your moral will, your ability to choose your response. As Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor influenced by Stoic thought, wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." The intelligent man knows that while he may have been victimized, he does not have to live as a victim. There is a difference between acknowledging harm and adopting a victim identity. The former is honest, the latter is limiting. When you say, "I'm a victim," you place yourself at the center of a narrative of helplessness. You wait for the world to apologize, to compensate, to fix you. But the intelligent man knows that healing comes from within. He does not deny injustice, but he refuses to let it steal his future. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while plagued by war, plague, and personal loss. Yet he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Obstacles do not make you a victim, they make you stronger if you choose to use them that way. The intelligent man practices prohairesis, the Stoic concept of moral choice. No matter what has been done to him, he retains the power to choose virtue, courage, justice, wisdom, and self-control. He seeks justice when appropriate, but not as a means of validation. He pursues healing, but not as a permanent identity. Moreover, the victim mindset breeds resentment. It says, "The world owes me." But the Stoics believe that the world's you nothing. It is a gift, and with it comes the responsibility to make something meaningful of it. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The intelligent man does not wish away his pain. He uses it as a forge. He also recognizes that identifying as a victim can become a form of moral superiority. I suffered, therefore I am righteous. But Stoicism rejects moral grandstanding. Virtue is quiet. It does not demand applause. So how does the intelligent man respond to trauma? He seeks support. He allows himself to feel, but he does not let it become his entire story. He says, "This happened to me, but it does not own me." And in that declaration, he reclaims his power. He becomes a survivor, not because the pain is gone, but because he has chosen to live beyond it. That is the mark of an intelligent man. 6. I need to be right. The intelligent man never says, "I need to be right." This phrase reveals a deeper insecurity, the fear of being wrong, of losing status, of appearing foolish. But Stoicism teaches that truth is more important than ego. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The moment you believe you must be right, you close yourself off to learning. The intelligent man values truth over victory. He is willing to be wrong, because being wrong is the only path to being right. He practices intellectual humility. He knows that his perspective is limited, that his knowledge is incomplete, and that others may see what he cannot. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, not self-preservation." That is the mindset of a philosopher and of an intelligent man. In conversations, he listens more than he speaks. He seeks to understand before being understood. He does not argue to win, he argues to discover. He also recognizes that most disagreements are not about facts, but about values, emotions, and identity. Trying to win such arguments only deepens division. The intelligent man knows when to disengage. He does not waste energy on battles that serve no purpose. Seneca advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." He surrounds himself with those who challenge him, not those who flatter him. Moreover, the need to be right often stems from pride. But Stoicism teaches that pride is a barrier to wisdom. True confidence comes not from being infallible, but from being teachable. So the intelligent man says, "I could be wrong. Help me understand your view. What am I missing?" And in doing so, he grows. He also knows that being right is meaningless if it costs you relationships, peace, or integrity. As the Stoics said, it is better to be kind than to be correct. So the next time you feel the urge to say, I need to be right, ask yourself, what am I really seeking? Validation, control, superiority. Then choose wisdom instead. That is how an intelligent man speaks and lives. 7. I'll be happy when. The intelligent man never says, I'll be happy when. This phrase postpones joy to an uncertain future. I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I find love, when I retire, when my problems are gone. But Stoicism teaches that happiness, eudaimonia, or flourishing, is not dependent on external conditions. It is a state of inner alignment with virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." The intelligent man knows that if he is not happy now with what he has, who he is, and where he is, then he will not be happy later, because happiness is not found in circumstances. It is cultivated in the mind. He practices gratitude. He finds joy in simple things, a sunrise, a conversation, a moment of quiet. He also recognizes that the "I'll be happy when" mindset is a trap. It creates a cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. Achieve one goal and another appears. The finish line keeps moving. Seneca warned, "No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity." The intelligent man does not reject goals. He pursues them, but not as conditions for happiness. He enjoys the journey, not just the destination. He lives in the present. He knows that now is the only moment he truly has. So instead of saying, "I'll be happy when," he says, "I am grateful for what I have. I choose joy now. This moment is enough." And in that choice, he finds peace. That is the final mark of an intelligent man. Conclusion. An intelligent man is not defined by his vocabulary, his education, or his opinions. He is defined by his silence, by the words he chooses not to say. He does not say, "It's not fair," because he accepts reality as it is. He does not say, "I can't handle this," because he trusts in his resilience. He does not say, "It's all your fault," because he takes responsibility. He does not say, "I regret," because he transforms the past into wisdom. He does not say, "I'm a victim," because he reclaims his agency. He does not say, "I need to be right," because he values truth over ego. He does not say, "I'll be happy when," because he chooses joy now. These are not rules of speech. They are reflections of a disciplined mind, a mind shaped by Stoic philosophy. The intelligent man is not perfect. He stumbles. He feels pain. He doubts. But he returns again and again to the principles that anchor him. He knows that words shape reality, and so he speaks with care, with purpose, and with virtue. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Intelligence is not about knowing everything. It's about knowing what to withhold. So the next time you open your mouth, ask yourself, is this true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it wise? If not, let silence speak for you, because in the end, the most powerful words are often the ones left unsaid. Thank you for watching.